Does the Quran mention the general theory of relativity of Einstein? Or have the verses been massaged to accommodate the facts? Now let's put the Quran to the test. In 7725, the author of the Quran poses the rhetorical question: have we not made the earth draw to itself the living and the non-living? Now, this short passage gives us insight into the nature of gravity, its universality as expressed by the term affecting both living and non-living. In other words, it includes everything, and its attractive nature. The Arabic word gravity implies a drawing force and a vice. In other words, everything is held in the grip of gravity. The earth may be said to represent matter, and therefore matter exerts gravitational effects on each other. The definition of gravity by Newton, though there was a problem with the definition, because it could not handle extreme conditions such as very high velocities and intense gravitational fields. Einstein's theory of relativity emerged in the early 20th century and was an improvement on Newton's understanding of gravity. It was more correctly described as curved space-time. Now, I've explained this concept in my previous videos, so if you need any details, you can consult those videos. Now, Einstein's perception of gravity was more accurate than Newton's view. It gave us a better approximation to reality. Now let us look at the relevant verses. Chapter 13 verse 2 states, "Your Lord is he who raises the celestial body with an invisible pillar and is firmly established on the throne of authority. He has subjected the sun and the moon to his gravitational laws, each pursuing a course for a term appointed." Now my insertion of gravitational laws is based on 7725, which we discussed earlier, where gravity is viewed as a universal attractive force exerted by matter. And 55 verse 5 states, "The sun and the moon follow prescribed pathways according to definite calculations." In other words, they move in obedience to precise mathematical principles, which are none other than the laws of gravity. Now it is striking, whereas in 7725, gravity is viewed as an attractive force as perceived by Newton. In this verse 13.2, gravity is described as an invisible pillar, which is more in tune with Einstein's concept of gravity. Now to appreciate this remarkable prediction, we have to revisit a few other verses. In the same verse 13.2, gravity and motion is linked. And in chapter 10 verse 5, time and motion is associated. Chapter 10 verse 5 states, "He it is who made the sun a source of light, and the moon a body that reflects light, and ordained that it, that is the moon, moves across space, and measured out stages for her, that you might know the number of years and account of time." Now what is clear from this verse is that the sun and the moon, they run their courses in their individual orbits for a specified time. Notice here that the sun is not static as accepted for centuries, and it does not move to a particular place as some would translate. If gravity and motion is connected, as stated in 13 verse 2, and the same applies to time and motion, which we just quoted, that is in 10 verse 5, then gravity must be connected to time. However, the same verse, that is 10 verse 5, expresses the inextricable link between space and time. It follows that gravity must be connected to space-time. Now in the following three verses, we can deduce the curvature of space-time. In 5147, there's a reference to the expansion of the universe. And 8611 stated the universe will return to its former state. So if the universe is expanding, sometime in the future, it will have to make a U-turn. In other words, follow a curved path before reverting to its original state. And the last verse, 21:104, which refers to the destiny of the cosmos in the far distant future, it tells us that space-time will be rolled up like scrolls are rolled up. In other words, the expansion will stop and space-time will be curved around on itself, then start to contract before it collapses into a super dense state. So putting these verses together, gravity may be described as curved space-time. And this is precisely what Einstein's general theory of relativity states. So the celestial objects, according to Einstein, do not move in accordance with the attractive forces, that is, of gravity, but is guided by the unseen hand of curved space-time. Once again, there's the advanced scientific predictions being expressed in the Qur'an.